Hey, fourth graders, this week we're going to be looking at comparing and simplifying fractions. Math. Here is an important thing you need to know. It is the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is the greatest factor that two or more numbers have in common. Factors are the numbers that we multiply together. Okay, this is going to help us when we compare fractions. So here's an example of how to find the greatest common factor of 6 and 12. What I always do is I list them. 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2, I already have 3, 4 can't do. So I stop. And then over here, I look at my 12s. 1 times 12, 2 times 6 equals 12, 3 times 4 equals 12, 4 times 3 equals 12. Once you start repeating, you want to stop. So then I list it in my little T-chart right over here, and I can look. I want to see the greatest common factor. So we're looking at the largest number. So I'm not going to start over here, the smallest number. I'm going to look at the largest numbers. No 12. Ooh, did I mess up? I did mess up. It is not 3. It is 6. So this should be the greatest common factor, and this should be the greatest common factor. Sorry about that, my friends. 6 is the greatest common factor with 6 and 12. Simplest form. There are many ways to write the same fractions. So what is the best way? Well, to simplify a fraction, we're giving it its best nickname. Remember, like equivalent fractions. So we take 12 over 24, and you can sit there and you can divide it by 2. By 2, by 2, by 2, until you get to the smallest number and you can't divide anymore. You can totally do that. Or I can look and pick the biggest common factor, right? Greatest common factor. I know that 12 goes into both of these numbers. So 12 divided by 12 gives me 1, and 24 divided by 12 gives me 2. So we still got to 1/2. It's just how much dividing do you want to do? When we are comparing fractions, we have to make sure that it is the same whole being compared. If we look at these 3 Snicker bars, we have a small, we have a regular, and we have a king size right here. If I cut them in half, this half is not the same as this half, and this half is not the same as this half. So it's very important that the wholes are the same, otherwise it's not going to make sense. Most of you guys know this. You remember the Pac-Man or the alligator, the symbols when we're dealing with greater than, less than, or equal to. So greater than, less than, equal to. Remember who's eating what, right? And here's an example of how we can use the symbols to compare. When we look at 4/10 and 4/5, we can tell that 4/5 is greater than 4/10. If we look at 3/8 and 2/6, we can tell that 3/8 is greater than 2/6. So just make sure that you pay attention to which way it's going. Some of you have the Pac-Man is eating the bigger number, or the alligator is eating the bigger number, or for me, I always think of this being like an arrow and it's pointing to the smaller one. The bigger number is the bully. So whichever method works for you, that's totally fine. All right, and lastly, here are some great resources. As always, Khan Academy is awesome. Like, it just really helps you, helps parents relearn things, and it helps kids. It really breaks it down nicely. Please come to your homeroom live sessions. It's really going to help you master these skills. And right here is just a fun fraction game that you're more than welcome to go and check out and have some fun and practice. All right, I will see you in class. Bye, everybody.